You're going to get a lot of that coming into your body, and you're going to overload your kidneys with too much acid and undigested protein and amino acids, if it does break down even.
So any kind of meat, whether by air, by sea, or by land, should be eaten between the hours of
12 and 2.
Regardless.
Regardless. Really, you should get to the place where you're only eating meat about 3 times a week. That's the ideal. And because we just don't need that much. I mean, try to think of this all the time. And when some people are asking, how much meat does a cow eat? Did you ever see a cow eat a chicken? Wouldn't eat himself, would he? Where does it get its meat from? Where does it get its protein that makes its meat that we cook and eat? What does it eat? Grains, grass. Well, why can't we get by on that?
Are you saying meat should be eaten at 12 noon, between 12 noon and 2 p.m.?
Mm-hmm,
That's
right.
the only time to eat meat?
In the summertime, you can get between 1 and 3.
And you talk constantly about temperature, particularly you zero in on vegetables and so forth, not too high.
Right.
Now when we cook the meat, which we really shouldn't have much at all, we're going to cook that at a much higher temperature. What's in it now that's not all just toxic and harmful to us?
Well, that's the bottom line. I mean, most cases, a cow's half dead before they kill him. Who knows? He could have cancer, or think of what some of the stuff they put into cows and what would be in the cow's colon. And then they go to this butchering place and they see all their friends' heads being chopped off. And that gets the old adrenaline going, right? I mean, they're stiff as a board before they chop the head off, you know. So all that adrenaline from all these other animals being slaughtered, you know, death is all around them, you know. And then, so that they're pretty dead at that point. Then they freeze them to death. And at the grocery store, they don't want them to look like they're not fresh, so they inject them with a little blood, make them fresh. Then you take them home, and then after you thaw them out, then you cook them. Now, how much life do you think is left in it?
So you don't need 3 times a week,
Right. You really wouldn't need. I'm trying to get the perspective here. Now, if you were here's the balance here. If there's a big flood, and you got a big boat, and you can only put so much vegetables on there, and you have no electricity, so you can't freeze anything or refrigerate anything. After a while, you're going to run out of veggies, and all you have is these animals. Then I would eat it. See, before the flood, they never ate meat. They lived to be almost 1,000 years old. Methuselah, he was the oldest. His name means before the flood. You know, I think they had a pretty good thing going there. Now, I'm sure after the flood, they didn't have much vegetation, did they? And I don't think their veggies lasted too long, 40 days.
Well, how do we know they didn't eat meat? I mean, didn't eat meat before the flood. All these animals got on the ark,
Sure they did.
but they hadn't been eating them.
No.
Can we get too much protein from the fruits and grains?
Mm-hmm.
Can we overload on that?
Yeah, you can get too much, but it's hard to. You get lockjaw just chewing that much. So that's what's so neat. We can eat a lot of this cooked stuff. We can overeat cooked stuff. You can't overeat food. You can't be addicted to food with the definition I gave you earlier. But you can be addicted and overeat this other stuff. When they've processed it, cooked it too much, add those preservatives and stuff, then you can overdo it, okay? All right, let's try to sneak back to our subject. So you can see how many tangents we can get off to, and they're all important. You know, that we and I talk about them all somewhere down the line. I've talked about them, or will talk about them in more detail. But we don't need to eat so much meat. A gorilla's a vegetarian. He's a strong animal. A lot of these old weightlifters and stuff, I say, John, I can't veggies. I mean, I'll just be skin and bone. We'll go talk to the gorilla, man. And just talk to him and see why has he got such big muscles without eating meat? You know, you see, we've been brainwashed. And we're not looking at the way our Creator set up things. And we're listening to those that are out for the greedy dollar. And they're merchandising not only food and things like that, but the souls and bodies of men are merchandised, just like it says in Revelation 18. And Babylon's going to fall. But that's the merchandisers that are doing all that. And you're picking up their propaganda. And then you're listening to what they're saying, and you're doing and then you're treating your body or letting your body be subjected to those particular ideas, and we're dying. Our bodies are wearing down. We're sick. We're the sickest nation of any of the other nations. And we got the most doctors, the most hospitals, and supposedly the most knowledge. And we have the best food, or the most plentiful food. But yet we're the sickest, weakest, and the most diseased in spite of that. So there's something wrong with the information that we're getting. And so I'm trying to give it to you as simple as I can, and to me it's so common sense. These are common sense things that we're talking about. So we want to cut down the amount of meat and get better quality meat. Don't eat it late if we're going to have the meat. We want to cut down the amount of protein. Protein is an enemy. It causes pictorious heart attacks. It builds up cholesterol besides all these other types of problems. It wears out your kidneys. Some other things that are hard and cause obstructions because they interfere with your elimination organs, like your kidneys. Some of the things that are hard on your kidneys is Lipton teas. Lipton tea has tannic acid in it. It makes your kidneys shrivel up and get dehydrated so they can't filter out the blood and get rid of the obstructions. Chocolate cannot be eliminated by the kidneys. It collects in your kidneys. It's the worst enemy of your kidneys is chocolate. Think of your kidneys when you're eating chocolate. Without your kidneys, you can't live, you can't clean, you can't get rid of these obstructions, whether it's salts or proteins. You have to have your kidneys. And so they need that good distilled water, but you need to make sure you don't put substances in your body that it can't filter. All right?
Is it pointing to caffeine? Is that what you're saying?
Caffeine, no, that's a different substance. Caffeine is very difficult in the kidneys. And it hits mainly the nervous system, but coffee is very acid. Is coffee a food? Comes from a seed, doesn't it?
Right.
But what did they do to that seed? They roasted it, besides after they chemicalized it, and they roasted it, right? So it's dead. But you're getting some caffeine stimulation. But your kidneys have to clean out that swamp water.
If I eat chocolate, I think about roaches. They allow 5% roaches in chocolate.
Sure, they can't filter them out. But mounds, big mounds, you know, roaches get in there, lay eggs.
Oh.
You know, they can't pick them all out or anything, so they just grind them all up. So you are getting some protein in your chocolate. So you can always keep that in mind, that you are getting some extra protein.
So you say a person shouldn't, and I'm not a coffee drinker, but I probably average 2 cups a day, but I also prepare that coffee, perfect coffee with distilled water.
That's better, but you're still getting a lot of, I mean, it's still making the distilled water dirty. So you're
saying it would be better, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You're saying it would be better for me to heat my water, drink my water as, I do drink herbal tea.
yeah, herbal teas are good. See, but all your pops and
I don't drink the
and
normal water drink.
things like that. See, what is in the water? And you have to remember now how that's going to go into the blood. Everything that you drink, and most of your foods have water in it, all of that's going to go in the blood, and your kidneys have to filter out the bad guys and put in the good guys and keep the good guys in there. Now, our job is to give the body what the best things that we can give it so it can do a good job, right? That's our responsibility. And think of how many years our body's been abused with some of the stuff that we put it through there. One of the worst things you can put through there is milk. But then add chocolate to it, that's a double whammy. Milk is milk is what clogs up your colon so that you can't assimilate anything through it, and it ferments. Do you ever see milk when it sours? See, pasteurized and homogenized milk does not ferment, it rots. So when they can't sell the milk after the date's up, you know, in your grocery store, they haul it back, pour it into the mixing bin, and add chocolate to it. Then put it back out again.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure. So chocolate's clogging up your kidneys, and then the milk is clogging up your colon, where both of them eliminate 98% of your obstructions. You see what we're doing?
Isn't
And so we're
buttermilk healthy?
Huh?
Isn't buttermilk good to drink?
No, buttermilk's just one of the things. They culture that too. So buttermilk is just all your milk. Your cheese, what do you think cheese will do going through the system? They've got salt in there, so that's an obstruction. Do you ever eat any cheese without salt in it? So salt, and then cheese is like glue. Then another big bad guy for your colon is peanut butter. Peanut butter is like glue. I mean, when you take peanut butter and you ever put peanut butter? Why do you think they put jelly with the peanut butter when they put it on your bread? You're right. You ever eat peanut butter on just your bread? It's just 100% glue, and you're going to, and then you hardly get down through your throat without drinking some chocolate milk. So we gotta mix in some jelly that's got some extra sugar in there too, and mix it in there with the peanut butter so we can just get it down. Well, think what it's doing getting through that colon, that 50-foot system that's got to go through all these curves and turns and everything before all that can get, because you can't digest it. The peanut butter's got salt in it. It's got all that sticky protein that comes from peanuts that have been roasted, right? Or you got embalming fluid in there. Most of it has embalming fluid. So you're putting that in there. That's obstructions. So you've got to stop putting these obstructions in.
What about yogurt? Yogurt, okay.
A little bit of plain yogurt's okay. If it doesn't have those preserves that have sugar in there. Okay? Okay, then we got, well, let's see, how many other things. We could talk about a lot of other things, but those are the big bad guys. Of course, your pizza's got cheese, and you got protein, and bread. You got some really bad combinations there. And they bake those, all of those, at high enough temperature to be pretty dead. Okay? So you know what, the cheese, you know. You stretch out that cheese out, just stretches all over the place. Think of that going through your colon. Okay? Write your little letters about it. to remind you.
The cheese never changes its formation. It
No.
stays just like
The cheese with the salt in there will not digest. You are getting nothing from a pizza. Absolutely nothing, unless you make it homemade. You are not getting anything from pizza. All you're doing is treating your body as a food compactor. You understand what a food compactor is? You eat that pizza, you're chewing it, breaking it down a little bit so it can get down into the food compactor. Then it's got to shoot, and try to it through the colon. And it comes out little balls. That's your food compactor. Okay? I'm trying to make this visual. Okay. Is it working? We got to stop doing that. We wonder why we're having all these symptoms. It's because we're abusing our body. Talk about child abuse. You know? And so we're going to have to learn how to cooperate with our body. Now, next time, I'm going to stop there. You got the general idea. Because some of you get your pizzas up here. So, I think next time I'm going to continue on with this. Maybe we can keep it on the same tape. On what we can do to clean out the colon and help the kidney specifically. I'm going to talk about some cleansing programs and also some fasting that we can do along with that next time. And then the next time we'll talk about stress, okay? I'll pick up, excuse me just a minute. I'll pick up on this a little bit further. The first thing that you need to look at, first of all, you need to understand what you're putting into your body that causes it and start dealing with that, okay? Because it doesn't matter what we do to help clean the body out. If we're putting it in as fast as it's trying to get out, we're going in circles. We're not getting anywhere, okay? So that's why I wanted to really try to get across tonight the importance of identifying what these obstructions are, what causes them, some of the problems they cause, what causes these obstructions, and how the body has to work to get them out. And so we'll pick up next time on how to get them out, okay?